ladies and gentlemen. This is Jeff Rains coming to you again with Foundation of Civilization and and Our Changing World. And boy, there are some changes that are going on. What's happened? It's interesting things. We've had quite a few trade deals that have unfolded recently, and we had a surprise one pop up just yesterday, today. Let me give you a rundown, and I got a serious question to ask towards the end of this also. As I get into these, I want to make a note that these plans, these new deals, mark the end of the Marshal Plan for Europe. The Marshal Plan was named for Secretary of State George C. Marshall, and this allowed, in general, this allowed the nations of Europe, France, United Kingdom, Germany, and any place that the United States had influence over, especially those NATO nations, allowed them to charge higher tariff rates on the United States while those countries rebuilt. Now, this plan has been pretty much, we provided a lot of aid, and we also provided the trade that was beneficial to the European nations. And the United States just decided to take it. Nobody decided to make any kind of changes to it over the years, up until now. Just recently, the U.S. president had said, "Hey, these deals, these trade deals that we have, are just no good anymore." It has been, last time around 70, 80 years, and so it's time to make changes. And I have to agree, it's been plenty long. They've got over 3 generations of people that have been born in Europe, and so they can make their own way now. They can make their way in the standard trade practices as opposed to having things tilted in their favor. Now, the first trade deal that I wanted to note was that of the United States and the United Kingdom. On May 8th, the proposal, a trade agreement deal, was put together. This covered things like automotives, steel and aluminum, pharmaceutical products, beef and ethanol, aerospace, and digital trade. In the automotives sector, the tariffs would be reduced from 27.5% to 10%, and the United States would create a quota of 100,000 U.K. cars annually. Steel and aluminum, it was a little confusing because there's no defined tariff amount on it. It says that they're going to continue to negotiate. So we'll see where that ends up. The next deal that I was looking at was the United States and South Korea. The United States pledged to invest $350 billion in assets owned and controlled by the United States. They also agreed to $100 billion in energy purchases. And South Korea lowered their demand to control electronic online platforms such as Google and Meta, which I don't know if they would have done a better job or not, but it is what it is right now, and Google and Meta will be able to continue to conduct their business based on the business in the United States. The next deal was actually a pretty important deal, and that is the one with Japan. Interestingly enough, we just negotiated one shortly last time the current president was in office, and Japan was kind of scratching their heads going, what are we negotiating another one for? But they did, and everybody seems to be pretty happy about it now. Struck a deal that lowers tariffs on cars and other goods to 15%, and it created a $550 billion investment package into equity loans and guarantees. There was another provision in here that Tokyo agreed to, and that with the United States, that Japan will always receive the lowest tariff rate on chips, I presume computer chips, not potato chips, computer chips and pharmaceuticals of all the pacts negotiated by Washington. Now, between Japan, the United Kingdom, and the EU, which is the next trade deal that was negotiated, that really locks up quite a bit of the world markets. The head of the EU commented in a post on X, noted that the U.S. and EU are a market of 800 million people, representing nearly 44% of global GDP. As a bloc, the EU is America's top trading partner, with more than 600 billion worth of goods imported from European nations last year. The United States exported slightly more than half of that sum, with about $370 billion worth of goods sent to Europe. And that was for 2024. 15%, the Europe will reduce their tariffs to 0 or almost 0, and for most goods, and we will, the United States will charge 15% tariffs. That is to cover the cost of meeting European standards and the value-added tax. The U.S. president said the UE also agreed to buy more than $750 billion worth of U.S. energy, as well as invest $600 billion on top of the bloc's existing commitments in America. So, and I apologize, I don't know how much that the current commitments are. Now, something that struck me is that the EU said it would purchase military equipment as well as open its markets for U.S. manufacturers. Now, the EU is trying to, I don't want to say rebuild, trying to build up its military capability. And so they currently purchase a significant portion of their military equipment from the United States. They also have their own, the BAE systems. Airbus provides several military contracts, but I get the sense that they're still going to continue buying things from the United States, and this will just meet that demand. And I also presume that Europe will continue to expand its military production. They seem to be bent on making sure that they're prepared to fight Russia in the near future. Now, some of the leaders have noted that it's very good they got this trade deal done. The German Chancellor noted a trade conflict has been averted that would have severely impacted the export-oriented German economy. The Italian Prime Minister, in a media statement, called the agreement sustainable and told reporters, quote, "I consider it positive that there is an agreement, but if I don't see the details, I'm not able to judge it in the best way." So she's still looking for the details yet. Ireland's one of Ireland's leaders said that in a statement on social media that he welcomed the agreement for bringing clarity and predictability to the U.S.-EU trading partnership. Now, the big surprise that we recently had over the past couple days. Not only have we reached agreements with those huge trading partners, but we had an interesting one with Pakistan. They have come to an agreement to, in quite a few different areas. And both countries hailed the trade deal on Thursday that Islamabad said would lead to lower tariffs and increased investment. They did not, though, explain or give a definite tariff level. The Pakistan finance minister said this deal marks the beginning of a new era of economic collaboration, and especially in energy, mines and minerals, IT, cryptocurrency, and other sectors. Now, the U.S. president trumpeted a pact to help develop Pakistan's oil reserves, and and he stated that they are in the process of choosing an oil company that will lead the partnership. Pakistan has significant oil reserves. They also have shale oil reserves that have yet to be tapped. That is now this agreement is rather interesting because it tries to pry Pakistan away from the heavy influence of China. China and Pakistan have had a long-standing agreement and cooperation, and in fact it was China that helped Pakistan develop nuclear weapons, and that's one of the reasons why we need to try to pry them away from China. Plus, with 240 million people, that's a significant block of people. Now, the United States also currently has comprehensive free trade agreements in force with 20 countries. Although I noticed some of these countries, kind of curious as to what exactly they mean, but the list that they have here is Australia. This is coming from the U.S. State Department. But we have agreements enforced with Australia, Bahrain, Canada, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Israel, Jordan, Korea, which would be South Korea. We have an embargo on North Korea. Mexico, Morocco, Nicaragua, Oman, Panama, Peru, and Singapore. Now you'll notice that Mexico and Canada continue to be on the free trade agreement, but we are also negotiating some new trade deals with them. In fact, we're trying to negotiate what's called the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which was to replace NAFTA. And NAFTA is still in effect until we have the new agreement. Another country that we are conducting negotiations with is Indonesia and India. Now, as I understand it, we did have a tentative agreement with India, but there are still some some details that they are working out. We are also in negotiation with the Mercosur trade bloc in South America, and this includes Argentina, Paraguay, Brazil, Uruguay, and it did include Venezuela, but they've been suspended currently. The big prize, though, the huge prize, is still the trade deal that the United States is negotiating with China. Now, interestingly enough, getting the trade deals done with Japan, United Kingdom, and the EU puts a lot of pressure on China now. I don't know exactly what to expect out of that, except a lot of hand-wringing and China is under a lot of pressure to be able to figure out the trade deal that they're going to have. Now, the last question that I want to bring up. I noted at the beginning of this that this was essentially the end of the Marshal Plan. And, when I was younger, heck, when I became an adult, Europe had, a generation and a half of people that had grown of age. No U.S. president ever went through and negotiated or renegotiated the trade deals we had with them. Why did no other U.S. president renegotiate these deals before now? Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden, none of them had the drive to even ask other countries for a new deal. I remember going back. I remember doing a video on what is the United States foreign policy. I couldn't tell you for any of those people. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the good news is that this, when people conduct trade, when countries conduct trade, it means that they're more likely to act peacefully towards each other as opposed to act violently towards each other. And hopefully, we will see that happen in the near future, continuing in the near future, and for much farther into the future. I hope that you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are paying attention to what's going on. This has been some really good news, and I hope that you guys appreciate it. If you found this video to be of any value at all, please like, share, and subscribe. Much love to everybody, and I look forward to talking to you guys again very soon. This is Jeff Raines with Foundation of Civilization and Our Changing World. Over and out. Talk to you later. Bye.